My two favorite Samsung smartwatches. That would be the Samsung Galaxy Gear S and the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. Now, I haven't had all the Samsung smartwatches. I've had quite a few. I had the before I had the Gear S, I had the two smartwatches before this one. Just can't remember their names at the moment. Of course, I got the Gear S3 and I had the Gear S2. Now, I did not like the Gear S2. The bezel was very hard to turn. It was too small. So the Gear S3 was perfect size. And then, of course, I didn't go for the Galaxy Watch. And, of course, the Galaxy Watch 5 where they removed the rotating bezel. I have no interest in that watch at all. So I got the Watch 4 because the bezel on this phone compared to not phone, watch. The bezel on this watch compared to that of the Gear S3, this is way more refined and much more easy to move around. Now, the 3 was okay, but sometimes it would be stiff. Sometimes it get stuck. Sometimes it wouldn't want to turn. It was just like a nightmare, but this one, zero issues with the bezels. So the rotating bezel is perfect on the Watch 4 Classic. Now, the Gear S, now, this phone was, not phone. I don't know why I keep saying phone. I guess because I'm so used to doing phone videos. But this watch here is a classic. There has never been another watch quite like this. The Gear S. Now, 2-inch AMOLED display, huge. I love how big this thing is, and it's curved. So it curves right around your wrist, and you got your home button right here. Love this display, nice and bright. Now, I wish they would have filled all of this in. That would have been really cool. But still, it's great. Released 2014. That was 9 years ago. 9 years ago. That's how old this watch is. And it's still, now I haven't had this for 9 years. Don't get me wrong. I have not. But I actually love this. Now, I remember when this first came out, and you know what I did? I went and got the Note Edge. So I had the first edge, curved edge smartwatch with the Note Edge, and I was rocking this at the same time. What a combination that was. And that Note Edge was expensive. That was $1,000. That was my first $1,000 device, and I regret paying $1,000 for that because a year later, that phone was only going for like $250. So I was an idiot for paying $1,000 for a smartwatch. Never do that again. But anyway, back to this smartwatch. Smartwatch is awesome. I love this. Now, let me just tell you just a little bit about it, why I love it so much. First, the display is just huge. You got your always on display right here, which you can see. Gorilla Glass 3, IP67 water and dust resistance, changeable watch straps, extended battery pack with wireless charging. Now, the only reason why I didn't keep that battery pack is because it kept breaking. Like the little tip on it, every time you snap it to the back of the watch, it just kept breaking and it was just getting a little too expensive. So I just had to get rid of that altogether. But it was nice to have, like, for a backup. If you were somewhere and your watch got low, you could just hook it up to the back of your watch and just give it charge. But it wasn't made very well. It wasn't made durable enough. Now, also the Gear S could be used as a standalone watch. So literally you could put a SIM in here and have your own number just for this watch, separate from your smartwatch. Separate from your smartphone. So excuse me, y'all, with, getting this stuff mixed up. So that was really cool. And I did that for a while when I first got it. I had a separate number for this. And of course, my my smartphone. And it was kind of cool, but nobody ever called me on this number. So it was an extra $10. It was just wasted. So I just did the Bluetooth. And the main thing is that I'm never somewhere where I'm without my phone. So that was good for, like, if you take this, because if your other watch would ring, it would send it to this. But I never liked being without my phone. So it just was a waste of money. So I just went and just used the Bluetooth part of it because it was just a waste because I'm never without my phone. But for those of you that, sometimes you just didn't want to carry your phone and you had that, the other number for this, then that would be great. But it was just, to me, it was just like a waste of money. Now, actually, you could put a small video on here and watch it. I've done that in the past. I put a small little short video in here and I actually watched it on this watch. So that was cool too. So you could actually play video on this watch as well. And of course, it's using Tizen. Now, of course, the newer watches, like the Watch 4 Classic, is using Android Wear. But Tizen was what they were using with this watch when it came out, and they were using it for a while, and it worked okay. It started, suffering a lot of lag in different situations like that, but I didn't dislike it. It was cool, but Android Wear is much, much better. But like I said, this watch, was really cool, very durable. This is what Samsung gave you, the original. And I like how it just snaps into place. It just snaps in and wouldn't move. Now I'm going to put it on my wrist so you can see what it looks like. Just put it on here. Go right underneath. No, I think I got it upside down. Yeah, I do. Got it upside down. Put it on like that. And just snap it right into place. And it's just huge. And it just wraps around your whole wrist. Now I know on my wrist it looks really weird because I have small wrists. But I like humongous smartwatches. Like, I like big displays. I don't care how funny it looks, but it's a head turner. When I've worn this, in the summertime or whatever, when I don't have no jacket or, short sleeve shirt, people want to know what type of watch this is. So this is definitely a head turner. Now, unfortunately, you cannot use this on anything, any Samsung device that came out in 2021. So 2020 and before, you could use this. Anything after 2020, you cannot use this watch. Now, is there a workaround? I don't know. You have to Google that. I have no idea if there's a workaround for that. So that's something you have to find on your own. But anyway, love this. And you know what else I loved about this too? Is that when you get your notifications, they're so big. Like, let me show you. See this? Like, you could see the whole thing. And you just rotate it, and you could just see everything. I just love that. Like, that is just so cool. And like, say if you wanted to, if you wanted to text somebody, respond to a text, like this one right here. Let me see. How do I do that? So, because I haven't used it in so long. So let me see. Is it this? No, you could do a short reply like this, or yeah. Now see this keyboard? You had a full keyboard. Look how big this keyboard is. So you could literally type on here and reply and then send it. So that's cool. I love that. So for those of you out there that still have this, still rocking it, you got yourself a great, great watch. Now, like I said, you can see when you get notifications, you can see the whole thing. You can see it nice and clear, very easy to read. Let me see. So you get your Twitter, you can see everything. See, no matter how long it is, if your emails are long, you can see the whole email. I just love that. And when you swipe up here, you got all your other apps like contacts, phone numbers, messages, email, schedules, settings, navigation, S Health, music player, news briefing, weather, S Voice. S Voice is trash. Don't use that. Gallery, you could store pictures on here, photos, find my device, alarms, and stuff like that. So it's cool. You could also control your media right from here to your phone. Here's your S Health. These are people that I call the most. This is my weather. And these is like my schedule. And it's the home button. You just press that, go right back to the home button. Go back to the home screen. If it's acting right. Because, the software in here is old. It hasn't been updated. But I still like this. And I usually wear this on the weekends. So I love the Gear S. I love that. I'm never going to get rid of this watch. Okay, let's talk about the Watch 4 Classic. Now, this is currently the watch that I rock the most, like all week long. I just love this because you could put, a bezel on here like I did. Like this gold bezel did not come with this device. I put this on here just to give it a little more flair. Of course, this is not the original watch strap. I put this on here too to give it a little more, a little more flavor. But the thing I like about the watch for a classic, you got a Super AMOLED 46 millimeter display, Gorilla Glass DX with a stainless steel frame. This thing is made very, very, very well. Changeable straps, always on display. IP68 water and dust resistance. Military grade drop compliant. Android Wear. Blood pressure monitor. NFC. Samsung Pay. Google Assistant. Control your camera. Control your Galaxy Buds. Voice recorder. Measure your body fat. Access YouTube music. Measure your stress level. Measure your blood oxygen level. Has wireless charging, and of course, my favorite, the rotating bezel. So these are all the things that this watch can do for you. You can control your media right here. You turn again. This is my S health, my stress level there, my heart rate there, how many steps. It also tracks my sleeping, full calendar, which I absolutely love that. My contacts, I can add to that. Body composition, that's my fat, weather, blood oxygen, alarm, stress, water, sleep. So, I mean, this thing, I love it. You got Google Assistant on here. Double tap, you get Google Assistant. You got all the rest of your apps down here. You just swipe up. Like, I just love this. I love this watch. This is the best smartwatch that I've ever used. Of course, there's a ton of smartwatch faces that you can use on here. So I absolutely love this watch. And I change out my straps a lot. I change out my bezel. Sometimes I use a black, blue, red, silver. I keep changing this out because I get bored and I change it out. But this is the watch that I use the most because it gives me the most when it comes to things, this doesn't have all that stuff, Samsung Pay and control my voice recording and control my camera and blood pressure and blood oxygen. This doesn't do all that, but I just love the size of this thing, this display, especially when I get notifications, because like I said, you could easily see everything. Now, the font size on the Watch 4 Classic is good too. You can easily read everything on here too. Let me go to a notification. See, that's easily readable. Let me see. See, I don't really have anything to read at the moment. Yeah, I really don't have any notifications, but you can see how big that is. That is so easy to see. Unlike the Gear S3, with the Gear S3, everything was just so much smaller. And the older I get, the worse my eyes get. So I need something that I can, see a little easier. So when they made the font size on here so much bigger, it's so much easier to read, and I don't have to have the watch close to my face in order to see it. Now on here, it's going to be easy because the screen is so large. So these are my favorite Samsung smartwatches. I love these two. Like I said, the Gear S3 was cool, but the bezel was an issue. Font size is too small. But I did like the watch faces on it, because some of the watch faces I have on that watch, I couldn't get on this watch for some weird reason. I guess because the Android Wear, and that was Tizen, so that makes sense. But I like this one just for the sheer size of this display. So, like I'll say it again. I don't know why I'm getting so tongue-tied today, but I'll say this again. If you want to use this, the Gear S, you cannot use it on anything past 2020. So if you want to use it, you can't use it on anything Samsung that was made in 2021 and above. You cannot. If there's a workaround, I don't know. You have to Google that, find out on your own. I have no clue, because I have the Note 20 Ultra. That's what I got it hooked up to now. So anything past that, you cannot use this watch. For some reason, Samsung won't allow you to use it, I guess, because the software is just so old. So maybe that's the reason. I don't know. So thank you all for taking the time to watch, to view this content. I do appreciate it. Hope everybody out there is staying safe and staying well. And I'll check you guys out in the next one. Peace.